Hello, my dear students. My name is Ina, and today I'm conducting a webinar from the company Green Forest, as you know. And the topic for our webinar is participle clauses. I will tell you what it is, how it can be used, and we will have with you a little bit of practice with PowerPoint presentation. Let's discuss with you the rules of participle clauses, and I will tell you what it is. Actually, first of all, what I wanted to tell you is that participle clauses are used when we want to shorten or to link a few sentences, and we can omit a couple of words using participle clauses. There are two types of participle clauses: present participle clause and past participle clause. I will tell you what it is and how to form it. So, participle clauses. By the way, clauses, that means one part of the sentence. Sentence can consist of a few parts, like one clause, two clauses, three clauses. For example, when I met my friend, this is one clause. I was very happy. This is the second one. So, participle clauses. Let's start with present. Present participle. How we form present participle clause? First, we just take our verb and we add to it ending ing. And this is how it is created. For example, feeling rather tired, I went to bed early. Actually, at the end of the day, I very often feel quite tired, so it's typical for me to go to bed early. How about you guys? When you feel tired, do you continue like Facebooking, Googling something, or you go to bed and have some rest? Feeling rather tired is our present participle clause. And how we create? We use the verb feel with ending ing. And this is how it is created. The original sentence was, when I felt tired, I went to bed early. This is just we shorten, as you can hear, the sentence, not using when I, just saying feeling rather tired, I went to bed early. This is how we create present participle clause. How we use present participle clause. We use present participle clause when our two actions, feeling and went, two actions were at the same time, or they happened one by one, but with a very short period of time. It's not like there was 1 year difference. No, it's just like it happened really very quickly, one by one. And in this case, we can use present participle clause too. Let's look at past participle clause. How we create past participle clause. For that, we need to use having. After that, we use past participle like verb with ending ed, or if it is irregular verb, then we use third form. And this is how it is created. For example, having read the book, I knew the plot, like the story of the film. Having read the book, this is our past participle clause. You can see we have here having with ing and read, as it is irregular verb, a third form of the verb read. Read, read. Sorry. The original sentence was, I knew the plot of the film because I had read the book before. But we can shorten it and make it nicer, let's say, saying, having read the book, I knew the plot of the film. I think it sounds very nice. Lots of people are using such constructions when they speak or when they write something, especially when they tell some stories. When we use past participle clause, we use past participle clause when our two actions no, actually when one action happened before another action. Let's say I will cross it. So one action happened before another one. As you heard when I said the original sentence, I knew the plot of the film because I had read the book. I had read the book is past perfect, and this action happened before I knew the plot of the film. So that's why we use this construction in past participle clause. Having read the book, I knew the plot of the film. Actually, I think that using this participle clause is quite natural thing, and we use them very often in our everyday speech, not even noticing that. So just relax and try to pay attention to that, and you will see that it's very easy to do. I'd like you to pay attention to one more thing. There is one more rule that you have to follow. That the rule is that when you want to use present or past participle clause, the subject of two clauses must be the same. So, feeling rather tired, I went to bed early. In this case, I felt rather tired and I went to bed early. Having read the book, I knew the plot. In this case, I knew the plot and I had read the book. If we have two different subjects, the participle clause cannot be used. For example, when I was walking home, my friends met me. So my friends met me, this is my friends, this is one subject, and I was walking home, this is another subject. Participle clause cannot be used in this case because we have two different subjects, I and my friends. But if it is the same, then it is possible. For example, I was walking home when I met my friends. So walking home, I met my friends. There is one more thing that you can see that I'm using here commas. So using participle clauses after participles, we use comma. This is important one. And one more thing that we can use participle clauses not only at the beginning. It is typical to use at the beginning, but not necessary. You can say, I went to bed early, feeling rather tired. I knew the plot of the film, having read the book. Sounds all right as well. Now I'm going to show you the PowerPoint presentation with the rules again, explain you again a little bit, and after that we will have with you a little bit of practice. See you at the end of the webinar. So, as I said at the beginning, participles can be used to shorten and link sentences, replacing a number of words with a participle. How we form present participle clause? We use verb with ing ending. If we look at the example, a usual sentence, I was feeling rather tired, so I decided to go to bed. Feeling rather tired, I decided to go to bed. The usage of present participle clause is that when we have two activities happening at the same time, or one after another one almost simultaneously. In order they are mentioned, so the first action and then the second action. So first I felt rather tired and then I decided to go to bed, not vice versa. If it was simultaneously, then it doesn't matter how you use it. Let's look at the next one. Past participle clauses. We form it using having and then past participle. What is past participle? This is a verb with ending ed, or verb, if it is irregular verb, we use it in the third form. The usual sentence. When I saw the film, I knew the story because I had read the book. Having read the book, I knew the story when I saw the film. So past participle clause can be used instead of past perfect when one event happened at an earlier time than another one. So when one event happened before another event in the past. The rule that you must follow is that the subject of participle clause and the main clause must be the same. For example, walking home, I saw my friends, or while I was walking home, I saw my friends. But you cannot use walking home, my friends saw me, because in this case we have two different subjects. And the last one, this is the usage of participle clauses. They can be used very often when we want to replace such linking words as and, after, because, so, or while. Let's look at some examples, and at the end you will hear the participle clauses examples. I brushed my teeth and went to bed. After I brushed my teeth, I went to bed. Or possible to say, having brushed my teeth, I went to bed. While I was sitting in the living room, I heard a noise outside. Sitting in the living room, I heard the noise outside. In this case, we don't use while I was. We just say sitting in the living room, I heard the noise outside. I felt so bored, so I switched on the TV. I switched on the TV because I felt so bored. These words can be replaced, saying, feeling bored, I switched on the TV. I guess that's it. I think that it's quite simple to do. Now we will look with you at some sentences in which you will need to create participle clauses. The first exercise that I will give you, it's over here, and you need to create just present participle clause. I decided not to mix them. First, that you practice a little bit, and after that we will have a mix of sentences in which you will need to rewrite using present or past participle clause. So I will give you a minute and a half. I think that's enough to think, at least. If you have time and desire, you can write answers. Please look at the sentences and think how to change them using present participle clause. I guess we will start checking with you. Let's look at the usual sentence, and then let's look at the answer, how to create present participle clause. She was talking to her friend and forgot everything around her. She was into her friend. Talking to her friend, comma, she forgot everything around her. Since we watch the news every day, we know what's going on. Watching the news every day, we know what's going on in the world. They are vegetarians and don't eat meat. Being vegetarians, they don't eat meat. The dog wagged its tail and beat the postman. Wagging its tail, the dog beat the postman. Wag is moving the tail. While she was tidying up her room, she found some old photos. Tidying up her room, she found some old photos. He was a good boy and helped his mother in the kitchen. Being a good boy, he helped his mother in the kitchen. And the last one. As they didn't have enough money, they spent their holidays at home last year. Not a bad option. Not having enough money, they spent their holidays at home last year. Sorry guys, but the answer must be not having. As you can see, I forgot about T. And actually, when we want to create negative, it's possible, absolutely, to create negative participle clause. We just need to use not before before the participle clause. Not having enough money, or for example here, not being a good boy, or not tidying up your room, and so on. Let's look at the next slide. In this slide, you need to use past participle clause. Again, just for practicing, for understanding, for your understanding how to do that. I guess you are ready, and we can proceed. Let's look at the sentences. We switched off the lights before we went to bed. So, having switched off the lights, we went to bed. The boy asked his mother permission and then went out to play. Having asked his mother's permission, the boy went out to play. As he had drunk too much, he didn't drive home himself. Having drunk too much, he didn't drive home himself. We have written 2 tests today, so we are very exhausted. Having written 2 tests today, we are very exhausted. She filled the washing machine and switched it on. Having filled the washing machine, she switched it on. Very easily, I think. She had been to the disco the night before and overslept in the morning. Having been to the disco the night before, she overslept in the morning. And the last one on the slide. We had worked in the garden all day and were sunburned in the evening. Having worked in the garden all day, we were sunburned in the evening. The next task that I need you to do, you have here sentences, and we have here actually two sentences which we need to link using participle clause and creating one sentence. Also pay attention that you have to use present or past participle clause. Please go ahead. So let's check. I felt tired, so I went to bed early. Feeling tired, I went to bed early. Must be bad with E, not with A. Sorry, guys. I thought they might be hungry, so I offered them something to eat. Thinking they might be hungry, I offered them something to eat. In these two sentences, actions happened almost at the same time, and that's why we use present participle clause. She is a foreigner, so she needs a visa to stay in this country. Being a foreigner, she needs a visa to stay in this country. I didn't know his address, so I wasn't able to contact him. Not knowing his address, I wasn't able to contact him. Sarah has traveled a lot. She knows a lot about other countries. Having traveled a lot, past participle clause because it was before. Now she has her knowledge. Sarah knows a lot about other countries. The man wasn't able to understand English, so he didn't know what I wanted. Not being able, negative present participle clause. Not being able to understand English, the man didn't know what I wanted. And the last one. We had spent nearly all our money, so we couldn't afford to stay in a hotel. Having spent nearly all our money, past participle clause because it was before. We couldn't afford to stay in a hotel. The last exercise that I want you to do is a very simple one. You have here options already created for you, and you have to make the correct choice, whether it is present participle or past participle. I will give you a minute because I think it's very simple. When you give, like, when you have a choice of choosing, it's quite simple to do. So let's check. The first one. Having recorded her third album, she decided to take a long holiday. It was before, and then she decided. The next one. Having worked out all the answers, he gave his test to the teacher. So first he worked out and then he gave his test to the teacher. Walking down the street, she suddenly saw an old school friend. It was simultaneously present participle. Having broken her favorite china teapot by accident, she burst into tears. Having earned $20 million, she started helping charity organizations. Very nice of her. Sailing around Europe, she experienced many thrilling things, again simultaneously at the same time. Having won an Oscar for Best Song, he began working on his new soundtrack. And the last one. He closed the dictionary, having checked all the words from the text. As I said, participle clauses can be used not only at the beginning, but it is for sure very typically, but as the second part of the sentence. So, today we worked with you on present and past participle clauses. Present participle clauses we use forming verb with ing ending, past using having with verb in the third form of irregular verb or ed ending. When we use participle clauses, we want to shorten our sentences or to connect a few of them. And present participle we use when we have two actions which happened almost at the same time. And past participle clause we use when we have one action which happened before another one, and we want to show that. Also remember that the subject of the sentence must be the same, and we use commas if our participle clause is the first part of the sentence. Thank you very much for your time. See you around. Bye.